Welcome into Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. Special co-host Lucy outside the door over there. As you can hear her barking to start the show. It's always a good time, man. I'm never going to be upset with having the pets in the building. So, it's fun. It's fun. I'm Chris Yao. He's Maurice Patton, and we are excited for our final live show of the week. But don't miss Friday, because
don't stray too far from this perch at 2:00.
Yeah, because we are going to bring you our normal rundown, which will have schedules for the weekend on Friday. We'll also have our college football picks, and then we'll have some of our favorite interviews from the last couple of weeks for a best of-ish edition. I don't know if it's the best of, but it's the most topical of, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so, and some of it will be the best.
Well, I mean, considering all of our stuff is good.
Exactly. It's hard to, it's kind of all the best.
Exactly.
Just the whole thing across the way. So we are excited for today's show. We've got Chase Brooks, who's going to join us. He is the head football coach at East Robertson, and they're getting ready for the first time in school history to play football after Thanksgiving. It's exciting, right? I mean, you can't beat that. And so I'm sure Chase has been making the media rounds this week around Main Street, but we're going to grab him as well. We'll also talk a little baseball, because for whatever reason, and maybe it's because this past year I've followed a few more baseball accounts, but it just feels like baseball season never ended. Major League Baseball
it kind of ended for us, but
but news-wise, like I'm seeing news every day. Like I'm seeing, obviously we had a lot of managerial openings, which is unusual. We have, the free agent hot stove is insane. So we're going to talk to John PERROTTO of Sportskeeda, and that's exciting.
Yeah, long time friend. I guess we began interacting when I was covering the Nashville Sounds when they were the Pittsburgh Pirates AAA affiliate.
That makes
sense. He was covering the Pirates. And so it was good for him to have somebody on the ground with the top affiliate for the Pirates. And it was good for me to have somebody up top to, just kind of see what the thinking was about different folks and things like that. And so, we've known each other a long time. Well, I'm looking forward to getting his thoughts on, the managerial musical chairs that took place and other such stuff. So should be a good segment.
It is, in fact, going to be a good segment. We got a lot of great stuff to get to, and so we will do that. But before we get into the crux of the show, Mo, do you want to do Thursday sponsor today, since we won't be on the air tomorrow?
I can do that.
Let's do that.
Okay.
And we will give you the results from yesterday and today's schedule on the rundown.
This is the rundown.
Today's rundown is brought to you by Mockingbird Title and Escrow, an attorney-owned and operated full-service title company in Middle Tennessee that will get your deals closed without worry and fuss. A family business that offers the highest level of expertise in the industry when it comes to closing and funding your real estate transactions. Consider them part of your team. Call 615-274-8698 or visit mockingbirdtitletn.com today.
Girls basketball action yesterday. Baylor down to Brentwood Academy 48-31. It was Blackman 62, Beach 45. Loretto downs Clements of Alabama 56-53. Coffee County a 61-26 winner over Oakland. Columbia Central downs Summit 48-38, while Richland was a 50-39 winner against Community. Good Pasture downs CPA 41-37. Eagleville 53, Cascade 34. East Robertson 69-52 over McEwen. Mount Pleasant falls to Forest 51-47. Franklin downs Riverdale 77-52. It was Collinwood 38. Giles County 29, Green Hill 59, John Overton 41. Frank Hugh was a 52-35 winner over Hampshire. Creekwood downs Houston 52-43. Summertown 53 winner over Huntland. Floral Calm Downs Independence 52-44. Marshall County a 41-29 winner over Fairview. Cookeville 71. Middle Tennessee Christian 40. Cheatham County 57-19 against Montgomery Central. Nolensville 66, Dixon County 30, DME Academy 66-17 against Page. Wesleyan of Georgia 63, Providence Christian 20. Ralston 59, Clarksville Academy 46, Siegel 53-43 winners over Ravenwood. Station Camp down Springfield 39-17, East Hickman down Spring Hill 53-44. Stewart's Creek 48, Mount Juliet 28, Sycamore 37, Hume Fog 19. Murfreesboro Central 51, Tyner Academy 17, Davidson Academy a 38-31 winner over University School of Nashville. White House Heritage Downs Crosstown White House 39-34, and Lawrence County down in the land of the PERROTTOs of Winfield, Alabama, 53-23 winners for the Lady Cats.
So Winfield is the Pirates and Rogers is the Pirates,
Just play a
and
lot of
there's
Pirates.
no water anywhere close.
No, and Winfield is off I-22, like if you're going from Birmingham. It's right next to Gewin, and in the middle is Gewin, U-Win. It's between Gewin and Winfield. It's Alabama.
Boys basketball action from Tuesday. Battleground Academy with a 77-43 win over Tullahoma. Camden Central defeated Dayspring Academy 95-33. It was Cane Ridge 87, East Nashville 78. Blackburn with a 47-46 win over Centennial. Clarksville Northwest defeated Clarksville High School 58-54. Oakland 64, Coffee County 56. Summit with a 63-57 win at Columbia Central. Richland defeated Community 67-35. It was Christ Presbyterian Academy 67, Good Pasture 66. Creekwood 49, Harpeth 38. FCA.
Oh no.
Franklin Christian Academy, I think 52, Holyoke 52. Donaldson Christian Academy 57, Merle Hyde 52. Providence Christian 82, DeKalb County 52, Eagleville 49, Cascade 41, Ezel Harding with a 71-55 win over Franklin Road Academy. Friendship Christian defeated Liberty Creek 82-34. Frank Hughes with a 56-24 win over Hampshire. Lawrence County defeated Marion County of Alabama 64-50. Marshall County with a 57-34 win over Fairview. Zion Christian 92, Middle Tennessee Christian 78. Middle Tennessee Christian hit 17 3-pointers in that one, by the way.
And 92.
92, yes. Green Hill 70, Murfreesboro Central 35, Nolensville 66, Dixon County 43, Page 77, the Tennessee Heat 74, Ravenwood with a 63-46 win over Hickman County. Riverdale defeated Kip of Nashville 61-45. Station Camp down Springfield 67-49. It was Mount Juliet Christian 62, Sam Academy 55. Stewart's Creek with a 76-56 win over Mount Juliet. Summertown defeated Giles County 64-25. It was Sycamore 57, Hume Fog 51, and White House Heritage with a 3-point victory over Crosstown rival White House 56-53. In men's basketball action on Tuesday out in Hawaii, Purdue with a 71-67 win over Tennessee, closer to home. North Tennessee State fell to the dreaded Blazers of Alabama Birmingham 58-57. And in overtime, Trevecca defeated Shorter 84-80. Women's basketball action, it was Cumberland 94, Campbellsville of Harrodsburg 36, and Union 109, Trevecca 86.
Number 7 in the country, Union.
Hopefully Karen won't hold that against us.
No, still. I mean, 86 points is great, but boy, Union just could not miss, apparently.
Clearly.
Girls basketball action today. Summit down Siegel earlier, 48-37. Later today is Moore County and Summertown over at Cornersville in the championship of that tournament at 6 o'clock. Good Hope of Alabama and Loretto play sometime today. Good Hope used to be in the area with Good Hope and New Hope, and they were all really bad at football, and they were in Dora's region, and we said Good Hope, New Hope, and No Hope. Yeah, it was bad.
Saw that one coming.
They were awful, all of them. Boys basketball today. Father Ryan and Blackman at 1:30. Summit and Lebanon at 1:30. Beaches at Ravenwood at 4:30. Giles County East Hickman at 4:30. That's in Cornersville. And then the championship of that tournament is Lincoln County and Summertown at 7:30. Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and Laverne at 8 o'clock somewhere.
Men's basketball action ongoing right now.
In a TV timeout.
In a TV timeout, it is Kansas 32, Tennessee 28 at the under 4, specifically 3:18 remaining in the first half. At 2 o'clock on ESPN Plus, you can see Sacramento State and Austin Peay. And at 4 o'clock, Campbellsville-Harrodsburg is at UT Southern. In women's basketball, UT Southern is at Fisk right now. That was a 1 o'clock start. At 3 o'clock, Austin Peay's women are at Cleveland State. At 3:30, you can see it on Flow Hoops. Belmont and Stanford are playing. Not sure where. Tomorrow,
Out west.
somewhere out
Vegas,
west.
I think.
Okay.
Actually.
Wild, Wild West. Tomorrow, 6 o'clock on Fox, Tennessee at Indiana. You know, if you're done eating, looking for something to do, there it is. Also,
Top 25 matchup.
and Tennessee lost to Indiana last year on campus. NC State plays Vanderbilt at 9 o'clock. I'm not sure where or if that one can be viewed.
It is. It's in Florida somewhere.
Okay. In the association tonight, Memphis is at Houston. That's a 7 o'clock tip on Valley Sports Southeast. And on Valley Sports South at 8 o'clock, the Flames of Calgary are at Bridgestone Arena taking on the hot Nashville Predators. If one win makes you hot, I guess.
When you're hot, you're hot.
Well, I mean, 2 goals in the final 37 seconds to win.
They are certainly bringing
You'd
some
like to
momentum.
you'd like to think there's some carryover of momentum for that one. So we'll see. That's your rundown.
Top Stories brought to you, as it is each and every day, but most certainly this week, by our friends at Piggly Wiggly and Neely's Mill Shopping Center in Columbia. Go by and see them for all of your Thanksgiving dinner needs. They've got it all. Trust us. Just go over there. If you're missing 1 or 2 things today, now's the time.
Now is the time, literally.
While we're still here, because otherwise you may catch us. Or you can get, of course, everyday fresh hand-cut meats and everything else. It's just cost plus 10 at the register. So again, our friends at Neely's Mill, Piggly Wiggly, make sure to go see the fine folks over there. Top story first, before I guess they're both kind of lists, but we'll get into the Tennessee Sports Writers Association's Players of the Week at the collegiate level.
Yes, in football, MTSU quarterback Nick Vadiato completed 18 passes for 242 yards, 3 of those going for scores, also rushed for 92 yards on 15 carries. That passing performance was his 9th 200-yard game of the year. And MTSU won 34-30 against Texas El Paso, or UTEP. Defensively, Tennessee Tech linebacker Aaron Swafford racked up 5 tackles and 2 interception returns for 52 yards. Each of those picks set up touchdowns for the Golden Eagles in their 35-0 win at Tennessee State to close their season and to close, unfortunately, the career coaching career at Tech of Dwayne Alexander. That was okay, there we go. It was Tech's first shutout since 2013.
Wow.
And their 4th since 2000. So big performance by the Golden Eagle defense led by Aaron Swafford in that one. Volleyball. Your Tennessee Sports Writers Association Player of the Week is Tusculum outside hitter Emaya Burrows. Led the Pioneers to their first conference championship in program history. Earned South Atlantic Conference Tournament MVP honors with wins over Anderson and Wingate in the conference tournament semifinals and championships. She averaged 4.42 kills, 3.17 digs, and 4.79 points per set. So congratulations to Imaya. On the hardwood, King's Mikhail Pocknet scored 33 points in a 98-94 double overtime loss to Emory and Henry. Also had 5 rebounds, shot 12 of 23 from the floor, 9 of 16 from the free throw line. So again, Mikhail Pocknet walked into the locker room after the game and said, I didn't lose.
Y'all lost.
Y'all lost. On the women's side, Fisk senior Maya Buchanan led the Lady Bulldogs to a 63-56 win over Lane College with a double-double, 30 points on 12 of 16 shooting from the floor, 6 of 7 from the line, and 15 rebounds for Ms. Buchanan. So congratulations to her and to King's Mikhail Pocknet, Tusculum's Imaya Burrows, MTSU's Nick Vadiato, and Tennessee Tech's Aaron Swafford, the Tennessee Sports Writers Association Player of the Week honorees in men's and women's basketball, volleyball, and football, respectively.
All right, we go now to the Mr. Football finalists. The 2023 Tennessee Titans Mr. Football finalists were announced last night with Coach Vrabel and Mike Keith on the show. Mike Vrabel asking if the Blue Cross Bowl rotated when talking about Chattanooga. So interesting. Maybe not now, Coach. Maybe not while you're still here. But we'll see. Anyway.
Shots fired.
Hey, I don't know. I'm just saying. Division I Class 1A finalists out of Cornersville High School. My man. The founding father himself, Ben Franklin. I'm going to call him that in a story or something. We're covering him in basketball at some point. I'm going to have to call him that. Cameron Schlicht of Dresden High School. Reminds me of that.
Better you than me.
What was the movie Schlitz Malt Liquor from the other with Eddie? Oh,
Griffin.
Eddie Griffin. Yeah. You telling me you ain't got no Schlitz Malt Liquor? Cameron Schlicht of Dresden High School.
Undercover Brother?
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And then Dawson White of Moore County High School, your Class 1A. Ben Franklin, Cameron Schlicht, and Dawson White, Class 1A finalists.
In Class 2A, we're getting ready to talk to one of them's coach here in just a second. East Robertson's Isaiah Groves is a Mr. Football finalist, along with Stone Wallace of Decatur County Riverside and Mount Pleasant's own Darian Meza. He of the 85 touches, 18 touchdowns. That's a touchdown less than every 5 touches, by the way. So, yeah.
That's a good. That's a fantastic average there. In Class 3A out of Sheffield, it's Rodarius Jackson from Covington High School, Skyland Smith, and Alcoa's Brandon Winton Jr. Surprise Alcoa with a finalist.
Go figure, huh? Gabe Borders of Macon County is a Class 4A finalist. And he's probably got a shot because the other two, as teammates, may very well have split the votes. Zion Simpson Smith and Keyshawn Tarleton of Pearl Cone are your other two Class 4A finalists.
Are they ranked choice? Like, do you vote for like 3 or do you just vote for 1?
I don't.
Okay. Well, I feel like that would matter because if they were 1-2 with each other, one of them, who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
So, Class 5A out of Page, Eric Hazard, who has had some things to say about the Mr. Football Award over the last week.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Kelvin Perkins of Southwind High School and Dominic Reed from Centennial.
So, for the second time in as many weeks, Hazard is going to see one of his opponents in this race because Page just defeated Centennial and Dominic Reed 14-7 last week, and they get Kelvin Perkins and Southwind come into town Friday night. So, couple of Wilco kids. In Class 6A, Bradley Central's Boo Carter and a couple of Rutherford County kids, Riverdale quarterback Braden Graham and Oakland running back Dwayne Morris.
Did they spell his name wrong?
No, that's the correct
okay.
spelling. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, to be honest.
Maybe it's just Dane.
Dawn
or Dawn.
I'm not entirely sure, but that's the way it's been spelled ever since he got here.
Division II Class A, Monte Baldwin snubbed.
Yes.
Jalen Mosley of Jackson Christian, Brian Shields of First Assembly Christian, and Tyson Walcott, who should probably be the runaway winner.
52 touchdowns.
Out of Friendship Christian with a state record. Most touchdowns in a season.
Well, I'd like to think.
One would think.
52 touchdowns would be a state record.
Right.
Yeah. In Division II AA, Marquise Barrett of Knoxville Webb, Cruz Law of Christ Presbyterian Academy. I believe he is committed to North Carolina. And Ty Clark III of Franklin Road Academy, who just here in the last 48 hours committed to Wake Forest. Got to be a demon deacon. Congratulations to him, and good luck here.
Speaking of demon deacons, stick around after the next segment. It's going to be fun. Division II Class wait. Just Division II Class AAA, Caleb Beasley of Lipscomb Academy, Carson Gentle of McCauley, and Amari Jefferson from Baylor at the AAA finalists.
And in your Kicker of the Year category, your finalists are Grant Chadwick from Tullahoma, Daniel Echeverria from Mount Juliet, and Owen Taylor from Knoxville Halls.
Those are your Mr. Football finalists. Congratulations to those young men, and looking
and to
forward.
all the semifinalists as well, man. I mean, it's a great feat just to be one of the top five. It's an even greater feat, obviously, to be one of the top three. And the winners will be announced at a December 5th luncheon at Nissan Stadium following the Blue Cross Bowl state championships down in Chattanooga that begin a week from tomorrow. So.
Now we'll take that break. When we come back, we've got Chase Brooks of East Robertson joining us to talk a little bit about his football team playing a little Turkey Day football. So stick around. We'll be right back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handlers supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mockingbird Title and Escrow is an attorney-owned and operated full-service title company in Middle Tennessee. We get your deals closed without worry and fuss. We're a family business that offers the highest level of expertise in our industry when it comes to closing and funding your real estate transactions.
And it's a job I really love. I'm passionate about this. I'm enthusiastic about this. I like to think we're pretty well-rounded and can deal with a wide range of needs and a wide range of clients.
Call 615-274-8698 today.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see. Whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, coming to you live from the Lee Company studio here in Columbia. Glad to have you guys with us as we continue our Thanksgiving week duties for the next hour and 33 minutes.
But who's counting?
Not me at all. What are you talking about? Looking forward to this next segment because if you're still playing football this time of year, it means you've got a chance to find your way to Chattanooga within a week. And this next team is on a bit of a crusade after drubbing Smith County last week in the quarterfinals and that rematch between the two teams. East Robertson now with a chance, with a win, to go to the Blue Cross Bowl. And we have their football coach with us, Chase Brooks, joining us. Coach, welcome in.
Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you for joining us, Coach, and thank you also. We have a picture of you promoting your appearance with a flat bill, and I am glad that that is not the case for your live appearance here, because I was getting ready to wear you out, man. But
One of the baseball coaches hooked me up when I first got there with that flat bill hat. So
that's what Chris. That's what Chris said. So yeah, okay. That's a much better look, man. Hey, congratulations to you guys again in the semifinals for the first time in program history. Not satisfied, but at the same time, a great feat.
No doubt. We're fortunate enough to come here last year and had a great group of seniors that kind of got everything rolling. We had some underclassmen that kind of learned from the seniors. And so, we just feel like we got this thing going in the right direction. We try to create a constant atmosphere of competition, no quit mindset, finish everything we do to the best of your ability. And, it's really called on. Like I told the last couple of teams, that before I felt like, these teams that were here, winning the games, hoping they can win or, thinking they might be able to win. But now, we're trying to give these guys the attitude that, we're supposed to win. Every time we step on the field that, you're expected to win and supposed to win these games.
And, that's I guess it's a new mindset at East Robertson, because anybody that's familiar with that school, with that athletic program, baseball, boys basketball, I mean, talent has never been an issue in Cross Plains.
No, there's some unbelievable teams. The basketball teams have won state going back several years, in the 70s and 80s, 90s. And again, recently, just a couple of years ago, boys baseball just won a state championship just a couple of years ago. Our girls basketball team is, playing phenomenally right now. They got some really young talent. And then, we've had a great run so far here in football.
Yeah, sometimes it seems like success at a school, especially a small school, breeds success in other things. One, because a lot of times you have athletes who are playing multiple sports and kind of learn how to win, even if it's not in one sport, they learn how to win in another sport, and that carries over. How much of that have you seen, even across boys and girls sports? How much of that has had an impact on this particular team?
Man, it's huge. We got, 8 or 9 kids that are playing from the baseball team. We got 8 or 10 that play on the basketball team. And, when you've had success in other sports and you know how it's supposed to be done, and the attitude that it takes and the work, the work ethic and the work habits that you need to be successful, it's finally paying off for these guys as they carried it over to football finally. So, it's huge, having great coaches and other great support, around our athletic department that we can bounce ideas off of and, ask questions. Coach Wicks, our baseball coach, he coaches on the football team. He's a tremendous help. And, I'm just constantly, picking his brain about this, that, the other. So it's huge across all sports.
Chase Brooks, a second-year football coach at East Robertson, joining us here on Coach's Corner on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Coach, looking at your schedule and your results, it looks as though offense is where y'all hang your hats. Couple of 40-point games here in the postseason and a bunch of those during the regular season, highlighted by 69-0 win in week 2 against Houston County. I mean, they say defense wins championships, but you guys are breaking scoreboards all over the place.
Coming into the season, it was probably our biggest weakness was our offense side of the football. We graduated about 8 starters from last year's football team. Defensively, we had 9 of 11 returning starters. And so defense has done well. Defense is giving up around 11 or a little less than 11 points a game. So defense was thinking, it was going to be the backbone of our team and, really depending on those guys to get us the football and things like that. I think our defense has averaged about 3 turnovers a game. So because of that, in special teams, offense have just been rolling. We got a tremendous back, that's just yesterday got put as one of the finals for the Mr. Football. And Isaiah Groves, who's rushed for over 2,700 yards, almost 2,800 yards. His brother Elijah plays plays the outside receiver. He's 6'5", 215. So it's a pretty easy target to get the football to. We got multiple other backs. We got another senior, and Emmanuel Alarcon. We got a great fullback in Caleb McNeil. We got another great slot receiver in Cade Brooks. And so we're just kind of spreading the ball around. Coach Alexander does a great job of, coming up with a game plan to get these guys the ball in space each and every week. And it's kind of fun to watch. You got these, type athletes, especially at a 2A level. It makes the games really interesting and really brings the crowds out.
That's what I was just getting ready to say, Coach. 6'5", 215 on the outside in Class 2A.
Yes, sir.
And that's going to be a matchup problem pretty much at any level, but particularly at your level.
Yes, sir. And we got a quarterback in Casey Young, freshman. Now he's played 14 or going on to his 14th game. So, he's playing more like a sophomore. Kid's a dual threat kid, can run it, can throw it. He's going to have a very bright future. He started as an 8th grader on the state runner-up baseball team this past year. I have, 2 uncle and a cousin that played at Vanderbilt. So he's going to be somebody you need to look out for in the future. Just getting better each and every week.
But we certainly will. My question, Coach, is, are you getting any work out of Alvin Fike?
Oh, Coach Fike, man. He full of energy. The players love him. There's never a dull moment in practice. He's always bringing the energy and, bringing that intensity that our defense needs. He does our defense, the defense coordinator. Just fun to be around. Being Coach Fike, we've known each other since we were in high school. We both won Mr. Football the same year. We got to play in an all-star game together, and we hung out a lot, that senior year. So it's just been fun to bring him back around and get him around our guys. And, like I said, he's a ball of energy, and he brings everybody up.
Has he come out in pads yet?
Oh, no. Not after the Ravenwood incident. I got to keep him calm over there when we're doing side run stuff.
I got you. Chris was mentioning your win over at Smith County last week, 49-20, after they handed you all your only loss of the season. That wasn't a motivator this time around, was it?
Oh, the film never lies. That's what's great for us. We got to watch that film. We had several turnovers, 4 turnovers, 2 turnover on downs, about 150 yards and penalties. And so, film was a great tool this past week, just showing these guys of, the mistakes they made and how to correct them and what we needed to do to move the football. And then on top of that, just, showing that score over and over and over again, kind of how that game ended, being on television, how disrespectful, that is to lose, like a My TV 30 game where everybody's watching and we didn't play our best game. So no doubt, our guys got motivated and come off the bus Friday night ready to play.
You didn't put that score up on the scoreboard during practice last week, did you?
No doubt. Kids got tired of seeing it.
That's awesome. East Robertson coach Chase Brooks joining us here on Coach's Corner. York Institute has quite the resume.
No doubt.
And
Okay, sorry.
You talk about film. When you look at them on film, what are you seeing?
A football team of runners and hitters. It reminds me of, some of the Portland teams that, I had the luxury of playing for back in the day of, just the hard-nosed kids that, love the game and have no quit in them. They're going 100 miles an hour all over the field. They're going to put a hat on you, several hats on you every single play. And offensively, a lot of misdirection. They're single wing, double wing. The quarterback's kind of a do-it-all type player. It's been a nightmare to kind of, trying to simulate that stuff in practice this week of, hiding the ball and, doing some of that single wing stuff. And so, just trying to keep our guys disciplined and make sure we're reading who we're supposed to be reading and, trying to get as many hats to the ball as we can.
Yeah, they got a pair of 1,000-yard rushers, including quarterback Matt LaFew. So this is always a difficult thing to prepare for. It feels like, especially when a team has multiple ball carriers who can give them something. So, how do you prepare for this? And make sure you teach the kids, you've got to stay home. There is no pursuit. You got to do your job. And sometimes you're going to have to just watch somebody else make a play.
Absolutely. That's the thing we've been preaching on this week is, staying at home, especially when the ball goes away, because, he can run halfway across the field, reverse field, and go 60, 70, 80 yards to the house. Also can reverse field, throw it back across the field and throw a, 70, 80-yard touchdown. So it's been difficult this week, trying to train our guys, believe what you see, trust your eyes, trust your keys, what they're telling you, and then rally to the football. Try to limit the big play, force them to snap it again, and hopefully we can make something happen.
It's gonna be a great football game. This again, York Institute beat Smith County earlier in the year 8-7, so they've clearly got a pretty good defense. Or was it? Yeah,
Friendship. No, it was Friendship.
It was Friendship that beat 8-7. That's right. But they've clearly got a great defense. So your offense is going to have its hands full, but obviously have found their way here late in the season. So I'm looking forward to, again, at this time of year, every game is a great football game, I feel like. And so being able to play after Thanksgiving and prepare during Thanksgiving, it's a little different for your kids, but I know they're enjoying it.
Yes, sir. Had a team meal today after our practice. Had one of those big Thanksgiving meals, turkeys and all kinds of dressings. The community came in and really supported us and cooked us some great home cooking. So hopefully we didn't get too full and we still kind of run on Friday, I hope.
Now, will y'all do anything tomorrow, Coach? I'm always kind of fascinated by how coaches handle, the actual holiday. Will y'all get together at all?
Yes, sir. We'll do a script day where we kind of go through, every phase of the game and offense, defense, game plans. I'll be out there about an hour and a half, just kind of, rehearsing and going over everything to make sure we're focused and ready to go. We'll do it really early in the morning so we don't affect, hopefully, any noon or afternoon plans, for their family gatherings.
Yep, it's always a weird time of year, but you're always happy to be playing in it. Coach Chase Brooks with East Robertson joining us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Coach, we certainly appreciate you taking some time with us. Look forward to catching your game on Friday night, and good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. We appreciate everything y'all do for high school athletics.
Thank you, sir. Good luck tonight.
All right. Mo?
Chris?
Talk about some of our local standouts.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a couple awards, a little hardware to hand out, which is always a good time. We'll start with the End-to-End Life Team of the Week, presented by our friends at CustomStonehandlers.com. Give them a call, 931-490-4990 for all your rock needs. The Rock Man will get you set up.
The Rock Man, absolutely. And I don't know if he gives you a discount for saying Roll Tide or not, but
if you do, you never know.
It might put you in the right direction.
Mm.
Yeah. Our Custom Stone Handlers End-to-End Life Team of the Week this week is the Culleoka Warriors, Blue Devils, depending on what
The Warrior
night it
Devils.
is. The Warrior Devils.
That's what I've always. That's what I've been calling
The
them.
Warrior Devils. They opened their season with a pair of victories last week, defeating Zion Christian on the road 68-63 and winning at home against Forest 68-59. So congrats to
Mike
veteran coach Mike
Yeah.
Lovett and the Culleoka boys basketball team, our custom stone handlers, and to win Life Team of the Week.
And our Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Athlete of the Week from our other, or one of the other non-football playing schools here in Murray County.
Yeah. If you're not familiar with this name, then shame on you.
Get there.
You will be. Santa Fe Junior Alden Slaughter announced his presence with authority, scoring 41 points in the Wildcats opener at Fairview.
Man.
And
And Fairview was not prepared for what Alden Slaughter was bringing.
man, goodness gracious.
And now that he's around 6 foot 6'1", it's scary.
Yeah,
I'm
because
telling you.
now when he gets to the rim, he's not necessarily pulling up.
Doesn't have to stop and hit that fadeaway.
No, he might be looking to take somebody's arm with him to the rim. So
Put you on a poster.
Yeah, coming soon to a gym near you, Alden Slaughter averaged 32.5 points in a pair of Santa Fe victories last week. Also a double-double because he had 14.5 rebounds and 5 assists in those 2 victories. So congratulations to Alden Slaughter, our Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Athlete of the Week. And I'm betting this won't be the last.
Probably not. We're going to take a break. When we come back, talk a little bit about last night's Tennessee-Purdue game, but may just want to forget it. Tennessee and Kansas playing right now, playing a really good basketball game, but also college football playoff reactions. And we'll get into a little bit about Jim Mora and what's the coach of Wake Forest's name? Dave Clawson?
Mm-hmm.
Dave Clawson. They had some things to say
About each other?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
about college sports, and it's interesting. So stick around. Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be back in just a moment. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today. Mockingbird Title and Escrow is an attorney-owned and operated full-service title company in Middle Tennessee. We get your deals closed without worry and fuss. We're a family business that offers the highest level of expertise in our industry when it comes to closing and funding your real estate transactions.
And it's a job I really love. I'm passionate about this. I'm enthusiastic about this. I like to think we're pretty well rounded and can deal with a wide range of needs and a wide range of clients.
Call 615-274-8698 today.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back into Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Maurice Patton here with you on this Wednesday edition. It's the title card says Wild and Wacky Wednesday, but it's really a Preps Wednesday.
It's kind of a mashup.
Yeah, we're not gonna. I don't even know if we're gonna have time to get to wild and wacky stories. Hopefully, we will, because it's always a fun way to end the week. But we do have high school football picks to get to and all kinds of other stuff. So we're gonna try to cram it all in today. And right now, we're gonna talk a little bit about last night. Tennessee and Purdue combined for 78 free throws last night in a 71-67 win for the Boilermakers.
I did not see that game, but I was at a game last night where there were 44 fouls called.
It was, pretty close to that. It's a little ridiculous. You can't get into a flow. It makes it darn near unwatchable. And it wasn't like
people trying to play between whistles.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like that Tennessee got, screwed or anything. They were just as bad on both sides. Mm-hmm. Now, I will say this. It was established early in the game that the 3-second violation does not exist, despite the fact that Purdue has a kid that's 4 inches taller than anybody on Tennessee's team. And he was allowed to stay there anytime he wanted for however long he needed. And I have a problem with that. I mean, he doesn't need any help. He's got all the advantage he needs. He doesn't need any more. But fact is, Tennessee didn't win because they didn't shoot well.
But here's the thing. Tennessee didn't win because they didn't shoot well. It's November. The question becomes, does Purdue get that same treatment everywhere else? Do they get that same treatment when they get into Big Ten play? Does Edie get that same treatment in Big Ten play? Because, I mean, it's been pretty well documented that if there's an opportunity for Tennessee to come up short on the officiating end, it typically happens. Well, particularly against Purdue.
There's no question there. I mean, look, listen, there were 30 fouls called against Tennessee, 21 on Purdue. And almost, I want to say, Purdue had 18 fouls in the first 6 minutes of the second half, and that was it. It was like they were trying to...
18 fouls in the first 6 minutes?
Yeah.
And no more in the last 14 minutes of the half?
No, they got to the double bonus, but it was as if they were trying to get them out ahead and
then Tennessee catching up.
Yeah. And it was kind of
when
interesting
it looks
to
like
watch.
that. Yeah.
But I mean, Tennessee just, they didn't shoot the ball particularly well. Forced a lot of turnovers, 16 turnovers, did everything on the defensive side that they typically do. And offense didn't match him. I mean, Vescovy was 0 for 3 from the floor. Was 8 of 10 from the line. But, if he's not hitting from the floor, you're not going to win a whole lot of basketball games because he's your best shooter. That's the bottom line. And so, yes, Tennessee typically gets the bad end of officiating, and it probably happened last night. If there was a scale, it probably tipped a little bit in the favor of Purdue. But, I mean, it didn't cost Tennessee the basketball game. I also think that there was a Hunter Dickinson taking on Edie. 1 versus 2. All of that was on the line until Marquette whipped Kansas.
Well, I mean,
and so
you feel like they were trying to take care of that 1-2 matchup?
As if I hate to say that about officials, because when I go into a basketball game, I don't care. I call what I see what I call, and that's it. But you see it at the professional level with sports betting and all of the things that go into it. That's not a thing at the high school and youth levels that I've ever had to deal with. I don't think they go into it thinking that, but I think throughout the game, it sort of seeps in that, hey, because how many officials are there? Right? So, I mean, you might get that championship game. And do you want to call Marquette and Purdue, or do you want to call Tennessee and Marquette?
Or do you
Or
want to call
Kansas, Purdue?
and Purdue? All right.
And so, I don't know. That's just what's crazy about this tournament. As wild as it is, Tennessee now leads with 14-38, 46-44 is the score. That Tennessee, Kansas, and who else is in it? Syracuse and Marquette. So there are 3 teams that could leave this tournament without a Q1 win, because Tennessee's win was over Syracuse, who is number 108 in KenPom.
Wow.
Wouldn't have expected that.
I wouldn't have either. Yeah.
So anyway, I mean, if they lose to Kansas, they will leave Maui without a Q1 win. If Kansas loses to Tennessee, they will leave without a Q1 win because they played Chaminade to open.
That's tough.
Isn't it though? Other topic of discussion last night, my prediction came true. Washington did jump Florida State. Boo Corrigan says Jordan Travis's injury played 0 part. And if you believe that, I've got a phone number here for you to call. I've got some land to sell in Arizona, right up next to the ocean. I don't believe that, is what I'm telling you.
I understand that you don't believe it.
I mean, it's hard to believe. But I mean, if it didn't, then great. I think that's the best thing you can say.
Oh, without question.
Is that now their quarterback situation had no bearing.
Yeah.
But again, it doesn't matter, right? It shouldn't matter because Oregon, I mean, Ohio State and Ohio State, Michigan, one of them is losing. So whoever 5 is still in position.
Absolutely.
The number 5 team is in position.
As long as nothing else happens.
So long as the unthinkable doesn't happen and Oregon beats Washington and
Alabama beats
Georgia. Texas wins the Big 12, and then you've got a situation because keeping the SEC champion out is almost impossible, but Texas beat them. So then what do you do? How do you put both of them in over, undefeated ACC champ Florida State? Yeah, I don't think you can. So then it's a big mess. It's a nightmare, despite what anyone else might tell you. Nightmare. But Florida State is in position. If they go undefeated, again, Louisville's 10th in the country. They're number 10 in the country. Now watch Kentucky go out and beat them, as they have done a couple of times in this series with Louisville ranked.
Well, and to compound that, watch Kentucky go out and beat Louisville, then watch Louisville beat Florida State.
Well, I think Louisville losing to Kentucky and then Florida, I think it would really hurt Florida State's chances in the event that Alabama were to win. If Louisville's ranked 10th going into the ACC title game, Florida blows them out, Florida State blows them out, then you probably are fine with putting Florida State in at like 3 or whatever and dropping out Washington if they lose, or moving Washington up and moving Florida State in, or whatever it takes, right? But if Louisville loses and Florida State still wins, it's a lot harder to make the argument that even at 13-0 with that record, I mean, Washington's got the number 1 strength of record in the country. Oregon with a win over them avenges their only loss at a neutral site, and it just creates chaos. And I'm here for it.
There we go.
I'm 100% here for it. Other topics in the college football world, Mo. Coach Mora up at UConn. Now, please understand that after his BS comments about the University of Tennessee and that whole situation. I have
Very little use.
very little.
Very little use for him.
For Jim Moore Jr. But he said something that I absolutely 100% agree with yesterday in his press conference when he basically told UConn supporters and football fans that if they were unwilling to participate in NIL collectives and helping the football team compete at the same level as the Liberties and even JMUs, that if you want us to beat North Carolina, if you want us to beat these teams that we're playing, but you're not willing to pony up the cash to get the players capable of beating them, then
shut up.
You don't have the right to talk.
If you're not going to help us get the players to beat them, then you're not entitled to five-letter words starting with B.
Gripe.
When we don't beat them, starting with B.
Yeah.
Yes.
A synonym of gripe.
Yes. Yes.
when they don't move. So there you go. So, and then compound that with Dave Clawson's comments about.
These do kind of nicely dovetail, don't they?
They really do, because it does show a lot about, the state of college football and how it's currently sitting. Notre Dame Senior Day video for former Demon Deacon Sam Hartman. Dave Clawson says, "You only dated him for a couple of months. It can't be love. We're the ones that love him. We had 5 years with him. You rented him for a season. Here's a guy we recruited. We developed. They're putting a video on him saying, 'We will always love you.' When that video is played, it's just like, holy cow, this is where college football is."
And that's
where they
the crux of it. This is where college football is. You're gonna see this again. Maybe not Dave Clawson, maybe not Wake Forest, but you're gonna see something similar. I mean,
go back to as far as Russell Wilson, North Carolina State to Wisconsin. I mean, Jalen Hurts, which is a little different, obviously, and both of these are graduates. I mean, Sam Hartman graduated.
Mm-hmm.
He transferred to a school where he felt like he could compete for a national championship. I'm not mad at Sam Hartman. I'm just saying that's where college football is,
mm-hmm.
and it's a little rough when
you're the one getting jilted.
And you have to watch someone else say how much you love a guy that you created, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough, but
this
is where college football is. So you got to live with it. And the Wake Forests of the world, the UConns of the world, you only have two options: pony up or shut up. That's it. Those are your options.
And I don't even know really if
pony
the Wake Forests
yeah.
and the UConns and the folks of that ilk can really pony up to the point that they would need to for it not to be an issue.
Absolutely. They don't have the same, they don't have Tennessee NIL ability. They just don't. They're not going to. They don't have Florida State. Florida State, by the way, just announced the Seminole streaming network, which is probably going to end up being a revenue generator for NIL.
Oh, without question.
So,
well, it's going to be a revenue generator, period.
Yeah.
But a lot of that is going to find its way to NIL.
So we'll see how that all plays out. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Terry McCormick has your Daily Titans report. Stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint, is back after this.
Welcome to the 2023 Magical Holiday Home Tour, coming for one day only. Immerse yourself in the spirit of the season as you explore stunning displays, twinkling lights, and charming decorations. The general admission tour of area luxury homes, including historic Rosemont and a special tinsel tour of the original Fairview Plantation Mansion. Come and experience the warmth of the holidays by touring spectacular luxury homes. It's an event you won't want to miss.
Time now for the Daily Titans Report from Titan Insider Terry McCormick. Back again at the facility, we see.
Yes, a little bit later practices this week. So I'm out here at the facility, and practice just wrapped up a little bit ago. Will Levis was able to go through practice today. So after being out yesterday and getting the day off to rest that foot, toe, whatever it may be, he's back and ready to go for Sunday, it looks like.
Didn't know there was a foot toe issue.
Well, he was getting, if you watch the TV broadcast on Sunday, right at the end of the first quarter, right after he had scrambled kind of awkwardly for that first down on about a 4-yard gain, he went to the sideline at the end of the quarter and got that ankle taped, that I believe was his left ankle taped just a little bit. And so I'm assuming that that's what the issue was.
Interesting. They have turf down there? No, they don't.
No, they got grass.
So,
yeah.
Don't blame the field.
No, this is not a field issue, you wouldn't think. Or maybe it is. Who knows? I mean, it depends on what day it is.
There you go.
By the way,
Mhm.
there may be yet more changes on the offensive line. How about that?
Great. Well, at least the good thing is our opponent will be starting 2 backup guards against Jeffrey Simmons and Taylor Tart.
There you go.
And a rookie quarterback.
And a rookie quarterback.
A rookie quarterback. That kind of sounds familiar, doesn't it, guys?
It does.
Starting backups and having a rookie quarterback.
Oh, man. But I don't think Jeffrey Simmons and Taylor Tart are on the other side of the Titans line this week.
No, probably not. So that may be a good sign for the Titans here that they've, got somebody that's on their level. So I tell you, the new look for the Titans offensive line, it's probably going to be Dylan Radins moving back to right tackle after he was the left tackle last week, with Chris Hubbard now out for the year. And then it looks like that rookie Jalen Duncan, who came off the bench and filled in at right tackle after Hubbard went out last week, could get the call at left tackle. So we'll flip-flop there from the way the game ended on Sunday.
Okay.
Duncan at left, Radins at right.
Skoronsky at guard.
Skoronsky and who at guard?
Now, call me crazy, but here's the thing. This Jalen Duncan has, coming out, the scouting report on him was that he had the athleticism to be a decent NFL left tackle, but his game really needs refining, and he needs to show that, he has the want to finish plays the way that they have to be finished in the NFL, the way blocks have to be finished. So if, and this is a huge, huge if this kid shows you something, then all of a sudden the Titans are sitting in great shape, because then you've got a left tackle and a quarterback, both on a rookie contract, that might be able to help you in the future. How about that? If you want to look at the glass half full.
That's right. Glass.
Anytime the glass can
That's
be half
three-quarter
full as it relates to the Titans, it's a good thing.
That would be a 3/4 full, just about. But yeah, it would be great.
If Duncan and Levis are both big hits and on rookie contracts, and you've got $100 million in cap space, then that's the glass running over.
No doubt.
You go.
Terry, appreciate you. Tell us about our friends at Zen Sports.
All right. First off, happy Thanksgiving to you guys.
Yes, you too.
Thanks. You too, man. Don't eat too much tomorrow. You're right.
I'll try not. But let's talk about Zen Sports. Our partner Zen Sports is excited to launch their new introductory promotion available to all new customers in Tennessee, the No Danger First Wager. When you sign up for a Zen Sports account, you will receive up to $1,000 No Danger First Wager When you place your first bet on Zen Sports, you will be reimbursed for the amount of the bet if your bet loses up to $1,000. Plus, Zen Sports has launched a new VIP program for the premier bettors of Tennessee. If you think you might qualify, then listen up. Zen Sports is hosting a VIP tailgate and game experience on December 3rd from 9 a.m. to noon when the Colts come to visit the Titans. That means food catered by a renowned chef, unlimited booze, and a private room for bet placing and mingling with fellow VIPs. The VIP program is by invite only, so if you feel that your Zen Sports play qualifies for VIP consideration, please check out the program details and apply at zensports.com/VIP. No other sportsbook will offer you a premier sports betting experience with 24/7 top-tier customer support and bigger and better action than Zen Sports. So what are you waiting for? Get going and download their app at zensports.com today. Zen Sports, betting just got better. Gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and older and in Tennessee to bet.
Smiles. These are the healthy smiles of real Delta Dental members. Folks with access to the nation's largest network of dentists and low-deductible plans with 100% preventive care coverage, all backed by over 65 years of expertise. Go online or give us a call to learn about affordable individual plans that meet your needs. 1-855-844-0445.
It's time for Christmas for Kids November 20th at the Ryman Auditorium. This year's lineup includes Shenandoah, Phil Vassar, Chapel Hart, Michaela Lane, and Hunter Girl for over 40 years. Christmas for Kids has given the joy of Christmas to thousands of Middle Tennessee children. Christmas for Kids would like to thank their great sponsors. Tickets are on sale now. Visit Ryman.com to get your tickets. We will see you November 20th at the Ryman.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, coming to you live from the Lee Company studio here in Columbia, Tennessee, just south of Nashville, reaching all the main streets across Middle Tennessee on Main Street Media Television. Of course, you can download it on your Roku, Apple TV, or Fire Stick, as well as your Android or iPhone devices. Make sure to pick us up, Main Street Media TV. Mo, again, as we said earlier, baseball season has, for some reason, not felt like it ever ended. And so
there just aren't any games.
Well, yeah, no games being played here in the United States. There are plenty of folks playing abroad.
That's a good point.
But yeah, it's been a crazy, exciting off season to this point. I know Braves fans are on pins and needles waiting for Alex Anthopoulos' next move and for the next person to donate 1% to the Atlanta Braves Foundation. So we look forward to that. Those news drops and press releases, of course, but it's happening all across the country and all across Major League Baseball. And so you reached out and found us a fantastic guest.
I reached out. I reached back. Yeah. John PERROTTO of Sportskeeda has covered Major League Baseball on some level for someone for 40-something years, I think. And he's joining us here on Main Street Sports today. John, as I was explaining to Chris earlier, you and I crossed paths when the Nashville Sounds were the AAA affiliate of the Pittsburgh Pirates, and you were covering the Pirates. I was covering the Sounds, and it was always good for each of us to kind of be able to, check in and see what was going on. So welcome to the show. Appreciate you taking some time with us here.
My pleasure to be with you guys. Really enjoy. I'm honored to be asked, Mo, and it's good to see you. We have indeed been friends for a long, long time.
Yeah. Wanted to pick your brain, John. The managerial merry-go-round finally stopped yesterday with Mike Schilt getting the gig at San Diego. What did you think about the positions that were open and the folks that were named to fill those positions here in this offseason?
Well, I think the biggest surprise certainly was Craig Counsell leaving Milwaukee to go to the Cubs, or kind of arch rivals, only about 85, 90 miles apart. And Brewer fans certainly weren't real thrilled that somebody who was a Milwaukee native, no less, left the Brewers to go to the Cubs. So that kind of set some dominoes in motion. And Pat Murphy, the Brewers bench coach and longtime college coach at Notre Dame and Arizona State, he got moved up to manager. And I think that makes a lot of sense. The Brewers have had a lot of success lately. Pat Murphy's been Counsell's right-hand man, so it made all the sense in the world to stay in-house instead of going and bringing in a manager from the outside. I know one managerial hire that a lot of people in baseball are really happy for was the Angels bringing Ron Washington in as their manager. Ron, of course, had been the third base coach in Atlanta the last 5, 6, 7 years. And, until this year, the only time the Rangers had ever been to the World Series is when Ron Washington was the manager. And, his tenure ended a little badly in Texas. And I think people always were hoping, because he's a very popular figure in baseball, that he would get another chance to manage. And, he's 71 now, and a lot of people probably thought, well, he probably isn't going to get this chance at this stage of his life. But he did, and I know that's going to be a really good hire for the Angels. And you look at some other ones, San Diego hiring Mike Shildt. That makes a lot of sense. He was National League Manager of the Year in 19 at St. Louis. So, and the Astros also, Dusty Baker retiring and Joe Espada, much like the Brewers did, the Astros promoted Joe Espada from bench coach. And that makes a lot of sense because you didn't need an overhaul in Houston either. So it's good to have continuity. But there were a lot of moves and a lot of interesting ones. But certainly the top of the list was the Brewers-Cubs situation.
I would agree with you from the standpoint that no one really realized that the Cubs had an opening until they had an opening.
Yeah.
But
I don't think David Ross knew either.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I think it's not the first time in Chicago that they've done it quite like that, is it?
No, they did the same thing to Rick Renteria when Joe Madden became a free agent, so to speak, when his contract with the Rays ran out after the 2014 season. And the Cubs signed Madden and called Rick Renteria and said, oh, by the way, you're not our manager anymore. But Rick had only been there 1 year, and I'm not saying he didn't get treated fairly, but this is really surprising with David Ross. I mean, he played in Chicago. He was an extremely popular figure as the backup catcher on that 2016 World Series winner. He'd been the manager for 4 years. There was no indication that they weren't happy with the job he had done. They won the division a couple of years ago. They contended this year. Now, I know they stumbled down the stretch and missed the playoffs, but they probably had a better record than most people thought they were going to have. And I'm sure it had to blindside him because, like I said, there was no inkling that he was on the hot seat. And all of a sudden, another manager comes free and he's out of the job.
That's a tough one. I mean, that really, from our vantage point, seemed a little odd. You talk about Wash getting the Angels job, and you see Chris's cap.
Yep.
We are. I think I root for the Braves more than I root for any other team in any sport. So, yeah, it was definitely mixed emotions in this room because, as you mentioned, I think everybody's happy to see Wash in a manager's office again. I'm just not sure. And what I said on the show, I know why the Angels wanted Ron Washington. I'm not sure why Ron Washington wanted the Angels. I guess the only thing is there are only 30 managerial positions in Major League Baseball, and one of them is the Angels. But I just don't know what his chances are of being successful there.
I don't either because they've had, they had Joe Madden there, and we know what Joe did in Tampa Bay and Chicago, yet he couldn't win in Anaheim. Brad Ausmus, a very well thought of baseball person, he only got 1 year and he wasn't able to win there. it's a tough spot, and I have to believe, and this is without knowing for sure, is Wash probably thought, I'm 71 years old. I don't know if any more opportunities are going to come through. He almost got the Padres job 4 years ago, and the Padres hired Jace Tingler instead.
And we see how that worked.
Yeah, real well. I mean, obviously, Wash would have been, Ron would have been much better in that situation than Jace Tingler. But, I think it's just a situation where he knew that he was getting long in the tooth and there probably weren't going to be other opportunities. And I'll say this, the positive way that he is and the way that he runs a clubhouse and just the great teacher that he is beyond a manager, I think he'll do pretty well in Anaheim. I think they'll win more games than you expect them to win. Now, I'm not saying they're going to go to the World Series or they're going to do that, but I guarantee you they'll be a more respectable club with Ron Washington as manager.
Well, I certainly hope you're right, because I wish him every success, as long as it's not the Angels and the Braves in the World Series. But
well, I mean, I would love for them to get to the World Series, but he's going to have to lose.
He's got to lose if that's the
point.
case. I mean, it's nothing personal. It's
just
strictly business in that at that point. But they're not going to re-sign Ohtani. Mike Trout is more likely to be elsewhere, it sounds like, than to be with the Angels in 2024. There just doesn't seem like a talent base there for success. I mean, I think he's going to do well with whatever he has to work with. I'm just not sure what he's going to have to work with.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Trout. I kind of get mixed signals. Some people, I was at the general managers meetings 2 weeks ago in Phoenix, and some baseball people think for sure that Mike Trout's going to get traded. Other baseball people think, no, Artie Moreno is not going to pull the trigger on a Trout trade. I'll be curious to see. I mean, Perry Manassian's the general manager, but it's very clear that the ownership has a lot of influence in the roster decisions there, probably more than most other teams in the major leagues. So I think if I'm Perry Manassian, I want to tear the thing down and start over. They haven't had a winning season in 8 or 9 years, but I'm not so sure the owner wants to do that, especially in a big market like Los Angeles. I know they're technically in Orange County, but they're in the greater Los Angeles media market. So they're going to be a fascinating team. And there is a small faction of people in baseball that think because he is comfortable there and he has been able to basically make his own schedule and call his own shots, that Ohtani might go back to Anaheim because of the comfort level.
I saw a graphic a couple of days ago listing the last 10 American League most valuable players, and 5 of them have played for the Angels, Trout and Ohtani. And when you take that talent and you look at what the results have been with that talent, I mean, you have to trade Trout, don't you? You have to tear this thing all the way down.
I think at some point you have to rebuild there. I mean, you just have to, they're caught in between. They have veteran players who aren't as good as they used to be, and they don't have many really intriguing young players. Now, they have a few that they've called up in the last year or two, but they don't have those prospects that you go, wow, they're like top 10 prospects in baseball. They're guys that for sure will be building blocks if you're going to rebuild your team. And I think the fastest way to get those kind of players is to trade Mike Trout. But I will also say this, Mike Trout has been he's missed so many games the last few years that you may not get a bigger return on Mike Trout as some people might think.
It's interesting because obviously we would love for Wash to have success, but is there a better, more equipped manager in Major League Baseball to take a young team and build them for the next guy? Basically,
well, he's a great teacher for one thing. Now, Grant he's a tremendous infield teacher, and all of his proteges that have won Gold Gloves over the years speaks for itself. And Wash is the kind of guy that he he creates a good clubhouse atmosphere. His guys want to play for him. They're loose, they're relaxed. And I think when you bring kids up from the minor leagues, the last thing you want to do is put them in a tense clubhouse and in a bad situation. And I think Ron has a very good way about him to put people at ease. And I think I would say this: if they're going into a full-on rebuild, and Perry Manassian would not tip his hand at the general managers' meetings, if they are, I would imagine they would have told Ron that, and he is on board with it, because I can't believe they would hire him and then say, "Oh, by the way, we're trading all your veteran players." So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. But I do think that whatever they do, whether they decide, hey, we're going to load up and try to contend this year, or if they decide to take a step back, I think he's the type of manager who will be good in either situation.
Staying in, we mentioned them just moments ago, but staying in Southern California, the Padres are apparently cutting salary. What does that mean for, one, the club, and do they look desperate, and are other teams like sharks in the water right now looking to fleece the Padres?
Well, I think it certainly cuts out some of their bargaining power for sure, Chris. I mean, it's clear that they had to take a $50 million loan just to make payroll at the end of the season. Yeah, I think especially Juan Soto is the first guy that comes to mind as somebody you would trade. He's going into last year before he can become a free agent. And there's a lot of teams that want him. And I guess if your Padres' best hope is so many teams want him that you get the bid against each other. But like you said, again, yeah, they realize the Padres have to trade some people. And when other teams know you have to trade them, you're not going to get as much for them if you're as if you were in more of a position of power.
Yeah, I think that's where the Padres are kind of in a precarious situation. I wonder if that's why it took them so long to find a manager. Because who wants to go into a situation where
you don't know who you're managing?
You don't know who you're going to have, and oh, by the way, all of the best players we have got to go. So just like the Angels.
Yeah.
And before I get done with things, what the heck is going on in Seattle?
Nobody can ever figure that out. They trade players so fast that it's hard to even keep track of who's on their roster sometimes. They came close. They made the playoffs last year. They came close the year before. They came close this year. To me, they're a contending team, a team that's ready to win a division. But now they basically give you Eugenio Suarez away. And, it just happened here an hour or two ago, and I haven't been able to talk to anybody about exactly what's going on out there. But I know this catches me by surprise, and probably a lot of people in baseball. I don't know if it's a move to free up salary to make a big free agent splash somewhere, or that they're taking a step back. I would assume, as close as they've been and having so many good players in their prime, that this is clearing some salary to make a move for somebody on the free agent market.
To that point, what was your reaction to the Braves bloodletting right before the non-tender deadline last week? I think they've got 30 guys on the 40-man at this point and cleared off a lot of salary as well as roster space. I mean, I don't think Ohtani counts as 10 players, maybe 2, but what do you feel like the plan is out of there? And I'll preface all that by saying that nobody ever hears about what Alex Anthopoulos is really doing until it's done. But that said, what feel do you get?
Yeah, you're right. Alex is very leak-proof. The Braves front office keeps a very, very tight circle, and nothing gets out of that front office.
Damn it.
I don't.
It's
Yeah,
very frustrating.
tell me about it. I don't. As great as Ohtani is, I like the Braves lineup so much that if I were going to spend big time money, I would probably try to go get a top of the line starting pitcher. And their lack of pitching depth, and they had guys hurt. I mean, it showed in the playoffs. They basically ran out of pitching in the second round and lost to the Phillies. But he's obviously doing something. Like you said, they have 10 40-man spots. I mean, he cleared out half his arbitration players almost in one trade with the White Sox for a pretty good lefty reliever who didn't have a good year this year, but has a track record of being pretty good. I mean, obviously we saw he spent some of that money on Renato Lopez yesterday, but I got to believe there's bigger fish to fry than just Lopez. And, again, they're very quiet and nobody really knows what they're doing. It would seem that Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the star pitcher from Japan, would be somebody I think they would be interested in. There's other pitchers. I'd heard Aaron Nola was one guy that they were interested in, but the Phillies re-signed him. I mean, Blake Snell's out there, Eduardo Rodriguez. There's pitchers out there, but a lot of times the Braves, as you guys well know, is being in the South, they moved the move that nobody saw coming. And so that's why I think it's going to be fascinating here in the next couple of weeks to see what Alex Anthopoulos is doing with all that money. I know one thing, he isn't going to pocket it. They're going to spend to try to win. They may not spend at a level of a few other teams, but they're not going to say, hey, we're going to save this money for another year, because they're in the prime of so many of their players that I'm sure they got something up their sleeve, and I'm as curious as you guys to see what it is.
It's going to be interesting, again, as we said, to see which press release and whose name is next to donating 1% to the Atlanta Braves Foundation. Is apparently
I do enjoy that in all their contracts. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's nice to be charitable.
And think of the tax breaks they probably get in Georgia for that.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it's a big deal. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this offseason. Obviously, Nashville is home to the winter meetings coming up here in a week and a half,
roughly. Yeah, a week and
So-
a half. Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be a big deal here in Middle Tennessee soon. But obviously, winter meetings are a time to get some news, but especially since the GM meetings got canceled out of nowhere. So these
Yeah,
could
you
be
didn't
even
get
crazy.
sick out there, did you?
No, I did not. Fortunately, I didn't eat there at that luxury resort because I couldn't afford $24 for a glass of water. So,
Well,
so I went to
sometimes
In-N-Out Burger instead.
and stayed healthy. There you go. Are you coming to Nashville?
Yes, I am. I'll be there a week and a half. I look forward to it. Will you be there?
We're
We're working on it. We're efforting.
Good.
We're
Well, I
efforting.
hope
We will
so.
keep you posted. Absolutely. John PERROTTO of Sportskeeda joining us here on Main Street
Hey,
Sports today.
Tell us about Sportskeeda, man. This is something that we don't know a whole lot about.
Okay. Well, it's a company. It's a website. It's very popular. It's based in India. Very popular in India and that part of Asia, covering cricket and other sports. They've decided here in the last couple of years to branch into American sports, and they've hired Mark Medina, formerly of USA Today, to be their NBA writer. Tony Pauline, that used to be at Bleacher Report, is their NFL writer, and hired me here recently in the last 6 weeks to be the MLB writer. So it's still relatively new in the United States, but it's an interesting website. They want to do things, they want to grow, and it's worth checking out to see what people think.
Super clean, very easy to navigate and read if you are looking for sports news. So yeah, fantastic. Well, glad to hear it.
And the checks are clearing, right?
As far as I know, the direct deposits are direct depositing.
There we go. There we go.
And as long as that math is mathing, that's all
That's
we care
it,
about.
That's right. That's right.
In all cases, secure the bag. Absolutely. Again, John PERROTTO, Major League Baseball writer for Sportskeeda.com, joining us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. John, we hope to run across you at the Opryland.
That's always
Be sure and bring the breadcrumbs.
Absolutely. Seriously, Mo, it's always one of the highlights of my winter meetings in Nashville is to catch up with you and get a chance to see you.
We'll see what we can do, and regardless, we'll talk soon. Appreciate your time, man.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me.
All righty.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, high school football picks. We've got 8 mid-state games and 2 from outside. So we'll go from Bristol to Memphis this time, Mo.
From Memphis to Mountain City.
All the way.
Yeah.
So stick
Stretch it
around.
out.
We'll be back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mockingbird Title and Escrow is an attorney-owned and operated full-service title company in Middle Tennessee. We get your deals closed without worry and fuss. We're a family business that offers the highest level of expertise in our industry when it comes to closing and funding your real estate transactions.
And it's a job I really love. I'm passionate about this. I'm enthusiastic about this. I like to think we're pretty well-rounded and can deal with a wide range of needs and a wide range of clients.
Call 615-274-8698 today.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Hey, welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Maurice Patton. Time now. Take a look at high school picks. But, Mo, before we do that, do want to mention that Tennessee fell to number one for now. Kansas, probably not going to be number one next week.
I wouldn't think they will be number one come Monday.
Whoever wins
Come
the
Monday,
next game.
it won't be all right.
No, not for Kansas. No.
Yeah.
But, whoever wins the next game out in Maui will likely be the number one team in the country.
Most likely.
And then the other one could be number two.
That's nice.
It absolutely would. So,
but I'll tell you what, that's been a heck of a tournament.
Heck of a tournament. Tennessee, again, had a bit of a dry spell, went 4.5 minutes without scoring a bucket, and went from down 55-53 to down 65-55 within that time span. And that was pretty well it for the Vols. But if they can get that worked out, man, and I know that's just a hallmark of Rick Barnes' teams, that cold spell, but this just feels like a different team. And I feel like they're going to get that worked out before the end of the year. And if they do, come March, watch out.
No question.
All right. Blaine is still yet to make his picks, by the way. He still just has Greenville. That's it. So anyway, 8 games from across the mid-state, or that include mid-state teams. I'm sorry. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
8 games, including mid-state teams, and then we'll pick 2 others. We'll start with out of Memphis. Memphis City School, Memphis Shelby County School System, however they call it now.
Mm-hmm.
Southwind comes to Arno Road. We'll see if they can find it as they visit the Patriots tomorrow.
I tell you what, it sounds to me as if that Page Centennial game last Friday night was everything it was cracked up to be.
Everything.
14-7 final.
It was 7-7 until what, midway through the fourth quarter?
Unfortunately, CCCHS couldn't finish it off, but I mean, I don't think there's any shame in losing to that Page bunch. They suffered 2 of their 3 losses to Page. And I feel like.
And the other was to undefeated Brentwood.
Yeah. I feel like Page is getting ready to go down a road that it's been down before. 24. I like the Patriots in this one.
Page's defense is as good a high school defense as we've seen in a long time, I think. And I think they're going to show that defense on Friday night. But unfortunately, I don't think the offense is going to get it done. Southwind, that win over Henry County really impressed me. So,
you have to be impressed by a team that beats Henry County
on the road. So you go to Henry County and you win. It's a motivating factor. It's a lot of momentum, and I think they bring it with them. I'm going to go with Southwind, and I don't even know what their mascot is.
The Jaguars.
If I'd have known
Meanwhile, why is there a stink bug crawling on my internet cord?
Buddy,
what's up with me and bugs?
I had a ladybug on my drink.
It was probably my ladybug.
It was the one, that was crawling on your laptop. So I don't know what's up. Now it's not on your internet cord. Now it's on your computer.
Yes, but I'm not touching it.
No,
I'm not killing it.
It is what it is.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess it's his computer.
It's his computer now.
Yeah.
We know we're burning the studio down.
It belongs to the streets now.
Oh man. How about what has now become appointment football over the last, 5 years? Is it 5 years now that they've played one another?
Who this?
Giles County
and Alcoa?
And Alcoa.
Ooh.
Be in Alcoa.
Yeah.
This year. And
well, I'm not.
We went down to Pulaski for that one last year.
Yeah, I'm not sure that this is an appointment that Giles County necessarily enjoys, because they've seen this movie before and they know how it ends.
Well, this is just the 3rd year.
Is that all?
It felt like a lot
more.
Felt like a lot more. Yeah. But yeah, this will be their 3rd semifinal appearance in a row. 3rd time playing Alcoa, 2nd time over there. This is a tough way for, Giles County, if they went west instead of east, would probably have a couple of state title appearances. I mean, I know East Nashville is really good, but I feel like they would,
You feel like they'd have a better shot against East Nashville than they have had against Alcoa. Now, I mean, you also feel like the outcome doesn't necessarily change when they do meet them, but at least it's in the state finals and not in the semifinals.
Right. And you don't have to go there, which is not easy to get to. I've been there.
And not much fun once you do get there.
It's the ride back that gets you. They've not lost since a 34-28 loss at Hardin County. In week 2, they fell 35-34 to Page in that opening week overtime matchup, and have reeled off some pretty impressive wins, including a road trip to Meigs County last week, 35-14. I don't think that's going to matter, though.
I'm afraid it's not. I mean, Alcoa, regardless of the coach,
but
is a well-oiled machine. Now, they did lose to a relatively run-of-the-mill Maryville team in week 10. But
they also drubbed 5A semifinalist West.
Well, I don't know that I would call 24-7 a drubbing, but I will say this.
It was 24-0. West scored late. garbage time. I mean, they shut them out basically, which is impressive.
I think what gets my attention more, though, is that since that loss to Maryville, they have held opponents to 26 total points, 4 opponents to 26 total points, and have scored whatever 78 plus 98 is.
There you go, 76, 176.
Mm-hmm. So divide that. So that's 44 points. They've outscored opponents 44-7, basically, since that loss.
Yeah, I mean,
3 of those being playoff.
And a lot of folks thought Gatlinburg-Pittman might be the second best team in the state. And if that's the case,
if Gatlinburg-Pittman was the second best team in the state, then Alcoa is 24 points better.
And that's the problem.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, give me the Tornadoes.
Once again, if you're a 3A coach, call me. I have an idea.
What is that? Bumping up to 4?
Yeah. And everybody go to 4. That way Alcoa is either by themselves or they have to make the decision. One of the two. Oakland with Mr. Football finalist Dwayne Morris. I almost said Haskins, and I know that's obviously not true.
No.
And Mr. Football finalist Boo Carter, Tennessee commit Boo Carter over at Bradley Central. They've not lost. First time since 2013, Mo, that it will not be Oakland Maryville in the semifinals. That is a long time.
Well, it took a special team to break that run up, and I feel like Bradley Central qualified.
Absolutely. This is as good of a team as Oakland has faced this year.
And, you know, what's crazy is for the longest, Bradley Central wasn't regarded as the top football team in its county with the history that Cleveland has. But, you know, they've certainly put things together this year. They've it's a very talented bunch, and they've taken full advantage of it. But, you know, to me, and we've said
to be
before,
the man, you got to beat the man.
You got to show me you're better than Oakland.
Oakland, this will be the 3rd consecutive region winner they have played in the playoffs. They defeated Mount Juliet 24-2, Riverdale 56-0. They've given up 5 points. 5 points in the playoffs. 5. Which is almost like giving up 11.
What was the score last week?
56-0. 0. Zip, zilch, nada.
So when did they give up the other 3 points then?
Gallatin. They beat Gallatin 38-3.
That's right.
And so they've given up 5 points.
In 3 games.
In 3 games. So
that's less than 2 points a game, by the way.
I think they're going to give up some points this week.
I think they're going to give up some points. I think they're going to score more than they give up. I'm taking the Patriots.
I just can't do it. I think Bradley Central. I think Boo Carter is the best player in the state of Tennessee. I think he's the best player, and I think they got a great football team, and it's going to be tough to stop.
As a Tennessee fan, you hope he's the best player.
By God, I hope he is. Now, other things associated with Boo Carter are not always perfect, but that being said, give me Bradley Central. All right, let's see. That is game 3. We'll go to game 4. Houston at Brentwood. This may be one of the better games of the week.
You know, I just don't necessarily know what to expect out of Memphis from one year to the next.
This is the hard thing because they swept the Williamson County region last year. And you kind of look at it and you go, okay, well, you know, how good are they? We don't really know because they kind of stay over there. They just play each other. And I don't know. I mean, South Panola out of Mississippi was the Oakland, Maryville, Hoover of Mississippi for so long.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that that's necessarily the case anymore. and they did beat them in week 2, 28-26. South Panola won that game. I'm sorry. But honestly, I just don't know. I don't have a clue.
It's definitely, and that's kind of what you get to when you get to this juncture of the season. You don't necessarily have that familiarity with everybody. But Houston has won 10 straight after those back-to-back losses at South Panola and to Germantown.
Mm-hmm.
They avenged that loss to Germantown last week.
In a big way.
Yeah. After losing 14-13 at home in week 3, they won 30-10 at Germantown. They spiked Dixon County pretty good to open their playoff run, 47-0. Part of a sweep of Region 7 6A that included previously unbeaten Clarksville losing to number 4 seed Collierville.
Collierville. I was going to say, I think it was Collierville, but I don't remember.
Right. So, they've got a little street cred. And, as we mentioned when we were talking to Chase Brooks of East Robertson, you look through these scores, they are probably the class of Memphis. I mean, they didn't score fewer than 24 points over the course of this winning streak that they're on right now.
That's right.
And they were upwards of 40 in more than half of them.
They're good, but I'm going to take Brentwood because they have Clayton Merrill, and you don't.
I'm going to take Brentwood because I think the Bruin defense probably hasn't gotten the attention that it deserves over the course of this season.
I'll agree with that. They're very good up front. Very good up front. Surprise, surprise, Clint Finch has a good offensive and defensive line.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
That's 4.
4, 5, 6. 6 times they have held opponents to a touchdown or less.
It's a good day.
So, yeah, I'm going with the Bruins.
All right, last pick of this set here. We're going to go outside of the Middle Tennessee area, and we're going to go Knoxville West hosting Walker Valley. Walker Valley comes into this one with wins over Campbell County, Lenoir City, and Clinton to get to top seed out of District to Region 2, 5A Knoxville West.
I have to consult something real quick.
You're gonna
because
do-
I don't want
Knoxville
to.
West only losses to Alco.
Yeah, we talked about that a
That's
second
it.
ago. Yeah.
That's everybody else pretty good. They also have given up 5 points in the playoffs. They gave them all five to Powell.
To Powell, 31-5. Yeah, that's right. So 5 is the new 11.
5 is the new 11 this time around.
That's funny. So Nostradamus.
Did you pick this one?
Which will hit the street. I picked everybody.
Okay.
I picked everybody in the state because
everybody.
We didn't have anybody. But Nostradamus has the Rebels over the Mustangs.
Well, I will agree with the Turban prognosticator and go with the homestanding Knoxville West Rebels. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we've got 5 more games to pick quickly. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today is back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
With Lee Company Technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today. Mockingbird Title and Escrow is an attorney-owned and operated full-service title company in Middle Tennessee. We get your deals closed without worry and fuss. We're a family business that offers the highest level of expertise in our industry when it comes to closing and funding your real estate transactions.
And it's a job I really love. I'm passionate about this. I'm enthusiastic about this. I like to think we're pretty well rounded and can deal with a wide range of needs and a wide range of clients.
Call 615-274-8698 today.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
All right, we'll go through these last five quickly here. East Nashville hosting Dyersburg. And East Nashville looking for its third consecutive trip to Chattanooga. First under first-year head coach Damian Harris.
Yep, and I like them to do that.
I'm with you, man. I think, Dyersburg has been kind of close but no cigar over the last several years.
I'll be interested to see if Jamal Stewart makes it over to East Friday night.
I bet
we're down to Chat should they get there.
I bet you'll find him somewhere nearby.
Yeah.
Dyersburg undefeated coming into this one. But I just don't think they've.
And they and Covington have pretty well established themselves, I believe, as the top two teams in Class 3A out of West Tennessee. I think Dyersburg defeated Covington in the quarters
25-24.
So
Upperman at Greenville, which you can see on Upper Cumberland Reporter Facebook page.
And on NFHS.
And
right?
on NFHS, that's correct.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough one, man. Here's the thing. Greenville has been so good.
But they've not been as good the last 2 or 3 years as they were maybe the 5 years before that.
Well, they were 12-1 2 years ago, 12-1 last year. But, of course, they won the state championship in 17 and 18 back-to-back years under Kane Ballard.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, they've, not gotten to this point yet because Anderson County had put them out previously.
Yeah, the ones were Anderson County in the quarters.
And so we'll see what happens. I think the Bees have a shot, but it's at Greenville, so I'm going with the Devils.
That's a fair pick because it is at Greenville, but I think the Bees sting the Green Devils.
Mo, I don't think that your score prediction is quite accurate. I mean, 31-2 could be good, but I don't think that's what you meant.
No.
You want me to change that for you? What do you want the score to be? 31 to what?
31-24.
All right.
Goodness.
I don't think 2 was what you meant.
No, I mean, I know 5s and 11s have been prominent. But
we've seen 2 at least once. So, but I don't think Upperman's going to go over there.
Upperman's good. I don't think they're.
Yeah, exactly. So
well, wait a minute. They've got Upperman winning, right?
You do.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right.
Haywood at Pearl-Cohn. This one right here was one of the best games of the semifinals last year. Pearl-Cohn had to hold on late with a 4th down stop. deep in the red zone. And so this one should be good. Again, I've got Pearl Cone here getting back to Chattanooga.
Same. I think this Pearl Cone team, led by its 2 Mr. Football finalists, it's got a chance to be special. It's already been special. I think they got a chance to top it off with another state title for the Firebirds and Tony Brunetti.
Well, the Firebirds and Green Devils would be a great 4A matchup. East Robertson at York Institute. We talked with Coach Brooks earlier, and it'll be at York on Friday.
I was a little stunned by the ease with which East Robertson handled Smith County in Carthage last week. And
weren't we all?
I am a convert. Give me the Indians.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, I will not be surprised if East Robertson wins this game. Their offense is really, really good. But, boy, this defense is just fantastic. They've given up no more than 17 points on the season. That was against Bledsoe County in week 3. Since then, 0-7, 0-7, 7-7, 12, 7-7, 13.
Just don't know who they played.
Well, I can understand that. You know, Friendship Christian we feel like is pretty good. But outside of that, who knows? I mean, Oneida, Stone Memorial, Polk County, Eagleton, again, Oneida, Hampton. Hampton's really good.
Mm-hmm.
We thought Hampton had a shot at one, earlier. So there's your stink bug. But yeah, give me York Institute at home.
All right.
Final game, Fairleigh at Decatur County Riverside. I knew you knew I was going to make you pick this one. Good thing you've already picked it.
Yeah.
Fairleigh at Decatur County Riverside. This is going to be a great football game.
No, it's not.
You think Decatur County romps?
Decatur County is on a mission, apparently.
Yes, they are.
And I mean, you look at what they've done to this point in the playoffs, the numbers that they put up, starting with that 50-6 win or 50-8 win over Mount Pleasant in week 1. And they've got a Mr. Football finalist in the quarterback, Stone Wallace. They beat a really good Huntington team last week.
Really good.
On the road.
A team that beat them earlier in the year.
Yeah.
It was their only loss.
Mm-hmm. But no, it wasn't their only
Well,
loss.
in region.
In region play. They lost the season opener to Collier. 6A Collier.
Yeah.
So
biggest school in the state, Collier.
Yeah. So no, give me the Panthers in this one.
Yeah, I got Decatur County Riverside as well. I don't think it's going to be much of a I really don't think it's going to be much of a football game. Matter of fact, my buddy, who is one of Fairleigh's rivals, where he went to school, was talking about the folks playing at the cow pasture might get a chance to sit at the big kid table, and I said no, Fairleigh's fixing to get run out of town, and they are. So give me Decatur County Riverside. Come back on Friday. We'll have the rundown. We'll have a top story. We'll have college football picks, and have a happy Thanksgiving from Main Street Sports Today.